In this lesson, I'm going to demonstrate working with the dashboard of our WordPress platform. Now, we did install WordPress in the previous lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to elaborate some of the features and functionality of the WordPress platform. So before we can open up our WordPress, we need to ensure that our XAMPP server is running, and both of these services, the Apache and MySQL, are running. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Start on the Apache as well as the MySQL. So once both of these services are started, only then you'll be able to connect to your local host using your web browser. And here we go. Both of these have successfully started. I can minimize my XAMPP control panel. And let's go to the URL and let's connect to our local host, which is :8015 was our port number, and then dashboard. In order to connect to the WordPress platform, I can simply navigate by typing WordPress right after my host, and it should open up the web page. Okay. Now, for instance, at this point, this is similar to a website, in fact, and I can simply click on any one of these links and it will take me from one page to the other. As soon as I hover over any of these links, notice on the bottom left corner, this side, you will see the URL of that link. So let me go ahead and hover over the Hello World, and notice on the bottom left, you will see the URL of this web page. So if I click on Hello World, for example, one of my recent posts, I'll be navigated to this particular page. Obviously, we have not done anything yet. We have not configured the website, or we've not even begun the process of creating a website. This is the default structure of WordPress website. So let me go back, in fact, to our main homepage here. And in order to connect to your dashboard, we need to log in to the WordPress platform. So let's go ahead and try to log in. So I'm going to say WP admin. The WP-admin is the text that you're going to type right after WordPress, and it will navigate you to the login screen. And this is where you will enter your login credentials. So it's Clay123, and the password was password. Again, you would have noted these earlier in the previous lesson, okay? Because in the last lesson, when we installed WordPress, we provided the username and the password. So it's the same password and username that you will reuse all the time, every time you need to connect to your local host. And once you're done, simply click login, and it will take you to the WordPress dashboard. Now, the WordPress dashboard is fairly straightforward. It's not that difficult. For instance, on the left side, you'll see the navigation pane where you can click on posts, media, pages, comments, appearance of your theme, for instance, plugins, users, tools, and settings of your WordPress blog. On the right side, you'll see various widgets, for example, such as At a Glance, Quick Draft, WordPress News, Activity, and so on. So think of the WordPress platform as a set of blocks, right? So you have this space. All you need to do is fit in blocks that do certain things or have a certain functionality. Whether you can program those blocks using programming languages, such as Java, PHP, CSS, or any other scripting language, or you can simply customize and configure those set of blocks to fit into that space. So WordPress essentially functions on this concept, okay? So for instance, here's our title, which is Claydesk eLearning Portal. If I were to visit the site, I can simply right click or click on this. It will open up the web page, but it is recommended to open your site in a new tab, so you don't have to go back and forth. You can simply navigate from one tab to the other and have both of these open, because you'll be working with both of them simultaneously. So let's click on Open Link in New tab, and here's our web page. And this is the same web page when we connect it to our local host. Okay, so let's navigate back to our dashboard. Great. So on the left side, notice there's an option called Posts, and there's an option called Pages. I want to point out a key difference between posts and pages. In WordPress, posts are blog, right? So if you're writing a blog, blogs have time, right? They have dates. So you post something on your blog for this week, and then you have another post next week, or you may wish to post daily, WordPress is going to maintain that. For instance, let me switch back to our website here. Notice on the right side, this section here, which says recent posts, comments, archives, is part of your blog, right? So every time you publish a page, it will add to this, and it will add to the archive section as well. And you can create various categories, and each category can contain different posts. So if you are thinking of using WordPress, or if you're thinking of creating a blog, then you would work with posts in WordPress. Okay, so let me switch back. So posts are, again, if you are creating a blog for your company, for your organization, or a personal blog, you would use posts to add pages to your WordPress. Pages, on the other hand, are static pages. In other words, this is how websites are traditionally created. For example, you can have a home page, then you can have a products page, you can have a about us page, you can have a contacts page, and so on. So if you are developing a website, or you intend to develop a website, you're most likely to use pages instead of posts. Now, your website may have a blog built in also. So in that respect, you'll be using both posts and pages. But for right now, I just wanted to differentiate the basic difference between posts and pages so we don't get confused, right? And media is, of course, all of the images that you upload to your website or to your blog. So by clicking on media and going to the library is where it allows you to store and upload multiple images, whatever it is that you wish to use on the website. Comments area stores all the comments of different users within your blog. So user visits your blog, likes your article, and wants to post a comment, you'll be able to see all these comments here. Similarly, appearance is your actual structure and configuration of your WordPress platform, such as themes. Themes are nothing but pre-built and pre-configured, pre-structured sites, entire weblogs, entire websites that you can install and then subsequently customize. The customize option, for instance, allows you to customize your existing blog. Widgets, as I mentioned earlier, in WordPress, think of widgets as the building block. So it's just a block, a piece of code or element where you would go and customize your widget and insert it on your web page. Similarly, menus are straightforward. For example, menus could be about us, contact, homepage, services, and so on. So you can create various menus in WordPress to be displayed on the page. Similarly, header, background, and then you can of course go to the editor and use PHP language to edit your website as well. So if you're not comfortable with customizing or configurations and you wish to get into the code, then you would go to the editor. And I'll demonstrate each of these as we move along. We'll be pretty proficient with these by the end of this course, including the editor. So not to worry at this point, I just want to demonstrate the basic functionality and the elements within the WordPress dashboard. All right, plugins are very popular, very powerful. These are, again, think of them as just small piece of blocks. They do certain things. For example, you can install a plugin called Contact Form and embed that plugin onto your web page. So every time a user comes in, fills out a form on your website and submits a form, and you get the data, right? So there's a plugin for that. There's a plugin for, there are hundreds and thousands of plugins, and we'll take a look at those as well. Users, for instance, you can add other administrators and allow access to other users to manage your blog or website, so they can log into the WP admin area and start configuring the dashboard. Tools, you can import or export, for example, your entire blog or website from one to the other. So for example, right now our WordPress site, including all the pages, are on this local host, and if you wish to transfer these pages to the online host or your other domain, you could do so. And finally, these settings contain general writing, reading, discussion, and these are standard settings that you can go ahead and take a look at and then configure your dashboard or your WordPress platform accordingly. So just a high level quick overview of the dashboard itself, and let me give you another example. For instance, let's go to our site here, and let me in fact demonstrate now so that you can visualize the concept of widgets and menus on a WordPress site. So I'm going to click on claydesk.com, for example. This site was developed completely in WordPress, right? So for instance, you'll see a set of menu, right? So there's a menu called Why Claydesk, About Us, Services, and Contact, and there's a search also. So this is the menu that we talk about when I mentioned WordPress, right? So let me navigate back to our dashboard here, and here's the menu under Appearance. So for instance, if I were to click on Menu here, you'll notice I'll be navigated to the menu section where I can create my own menus. So I can give it a name, for instance, and create a menu. And here's the menu. Once it's done, it'll look like this. Similarly, if I scroll down towards the bottom of our website here, notice the bottom section has 4 columns, so to speak, right? So I have Insight, eDiscovery Partners, Useful Information, and Follow Us. So these are coming from widgets. So these areas are created using widgets in WordPress. So let me navigate back to the dashboard here, for instance. If I go to my Appearance here and click on Widgets, notice here, for example, Search is a widget, and Recent Posts, Recent Comments, Archives, Categories, and Meta. So these are, again, widgets that you can configure from the left side where it says Available Widgets, and you can drag and drop, and of course later configure it as per your own requirement. So the idea of WordPress is that you can simply use the widgets, menus, plugins, and customize your blog or website. And once you're done, it will look like a complete responsive website. So if I click on Enroll Now, it will take me to a new page, for instance, where you can actually enroll in various courses, and you can buy courses, and this is a complete e-commerce site. And our goal towards the end of the course is for you to be able to not only be able to create such sites, but also be proficient in programming end of things. So if you need to change something or require more complex capabilities, you could do so. So let's switch back to our dashboard. Click on Dashboard. We'll navigate to your home of your WordPress dashboard. So play with it, practice, and let's move to the next lesson.